In this training video, I want to show how to work with layers in Inkscape. And we're going to be working in a SVG file, an Inkscape file that already has some entities in it, but it hasn't been properly layered. So I'm going to show you how to go in, create the layers, and then select and place the different elements of the SVG file on the layers. So this is our Inkscape file. It's got the .svg extension. I'm going to right click on that, and because I have Inkscape installed, I'm just going to say open with Inkscape. And then we give that a minute to load. So here's the Inkscape drawing. It's an exhibit on an 11 by 17 paper size, and you can see it's a topo survey plan. This is the exhibit that I send out with my field crews when they're going to do a topo survey. But you'll notice when we come up here to the menu bar and click on layer, down here to layers, we're going to open the layer dialog, and you'll notice there are no layers in this particular Inkscape file. So I didn't do a good job when I made this exhibit of keeping everything on the right layer. So what we want to do now is add some layers. That's the first step. Then the second step is we're going to go in and we're going to select the different elements and place them on the appropriate layer so we can control visibility and lock and unlock different elements of the drawing. So to add a layer in the layer dialog here, we go to the plus button. Okay, and I always like to have a layer in my Inkscape drawings called base. And I usually do my layers all caps too. So base. Okay. So the base layer is kind of like layer 0 if you're a CAD user. It's like the default layer. Okay. Then I'm going to add another layer. I know I've got text dash title, so I have some title text, and I'm going to add another layer, say text dash regular for the regular text. Okay. Then I know I'm going to have, I've got an image background there, so I'm going to say image background. Oop, hit the wrong button there, sorry. Image background. Okay, then I've got another one. I call this shapes layout. That's for those faint gray boxes there that kind of group common elements. Okay, then I'm going to have a layer I'm going to call shapes arrows. You'll see what those are for in a minute. And I might do one more. And I'm going to call this shapes text bullets. Okay, and you can see all my layers follow the same basic convention. The first element is the first part or element of the layer name is the type of entity that gets put on the layer. Okay, so in this case it's shapes. This is an image, this is text, and then the rest of the layer name is just a description of the entity that we're putting on that layer. Okay. Now, one thing that's going to be a little bit different for CAD users, if you're coming from a CAD background, is really all we use layers for in Inkscape is to control visibility, which you can see here with the eye. You can toggle that on and off, or lock or unlocking the ability to edit the elements on the layer. So you don't control color or line weight with layers in Inkscape. We're going to do that on a per object basis, kind of like you would directly overriding the color or line weight or line type on an object in AutoCAD. Okay, so just use layers in Inkscape to control visibility and lock or unlock for editing. Okay, now I have these layers set. Oh, the other thing, I forgot, this is very important. The other thing we use these layers for is to control the Z order in the drawing order, display order. So as we move these up and down, the layer that's on the top of this list is going to get painted or drawn last on the screen. It's going to be on the top of the display order. and then the layer at the bottom will be at the bottom of the display order, and we'll see how that works in a minute. Okay, so we just want to remember that. And as a general rule, I always like almost always my text layers are at the very top of the stack of the display order. So this button right here moves the selected layer to the top. Okay, so I'm going to move these two text layers up to the top. Text bullets is going to be grouped with those text layers at the top, and then base I always have at the bottom. The default layer is always at the bottom, and then my image background layer is usually the next to the bottom. So that's good. That's right where I want it. Okay. All right. So we've got the order that we want now. We went ahead and we added the layers that we need for this particular drawing. So I'm going to go ahead and close this dialog now. I'm going to save the drawing, the SVG file, and then in the next video I'm going to come in and we'll start to grab these different elements and we'll start to place them on the appropriate layers.